Wow. In one word, BYU finds a way in Tucson. Kalani Sitake still unbeaten against Arizona in his tenure as the BYU head coach.
5-0. 5-1 in overtime.
Now 2 wins in Tucson. The 18th ranked Cougars now up to number 15. More on that in a moment. Down 10 in the fourth quarter, 24-14, and then get it to overtime, win in double overtime. I spoke with the aforementioned Kalani Sitake and multiple BYU players about how exactly the Cougars were able to get out of Arizona with another victory.
The guys just kept believing. We knew that we just keep playing, and we're going to have to use every second we did, and got it to overtime, then double overtime. I'm just proud of the guys, man. They just never stopped believing, and we have a lot of things to work on, but, man, this feels really good. Hit some adversity and then find a way to still climb out and get a victory. But
it just shows our resilience, our toughness. We were down 10 with 10 minutes left, and we weren't worried. We knew that we had a chance no matter what, and if the ball and plays were made, that we would win this game.
This isn't the first time we've been through this situation. So again, all it is just trusting the preparation, trusting our techniques, and just going out there and finishing strong. That's it. The game is never over until it's 0-0.
Yeah, I'd explain it as BYU football. We hit adversity, but just the camaraderie and the bond that we have and the poise, we knew we were going to come back, and it's exhilarating, and we're going to celebrate it.
We can just say we just keep finding a way to win. I'm okay with that, finding a way to win, but let's make it easier on ourselves as well. We don't have to have, these cardiac cougs every weekend.
Well,
we love the cardiac cougs.
If coach's blood pressure and heart can take another one like that, at least not consistently.
Not another bad roughing the passer call.
Oh,
he went 2016
goodness.
Francis Bernard targeting mode. Kai Nakua.
Can you blame him?
Yeah, it was Kai Nakua, I think, right? Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it was
terrible. But BYU faced a ton of adversity, so much adversity in that game, including the rain delay and the lightning delay that we talked about. We were hopeful it wouldn't happen, and then it did happen, and you come out flat.
Spence was pretty spot on.
Come on.
Just saying.
Come on.
Why are you doing sports?
Festi Sitake asked me that in the hotel. Hey, I think you missed your true calling. Not really sure where to go with that.
No, it would have been a waste. It would have been a waste.
Jeremy, in your mind, given everything and how that game played out, how and why do you feel BYU won that game?
This team is deliberate, intentional, patient. They play the long game, okay? They understand that it wasn't over and that if they execute a drive, a stop, a drive, they're going to get this thing to overtime and or win. So there was 3 versions of the game. I know they talked about this on BYU radio. I agree. Pre-delay, 14-0, and then 14-7. Post-delay, took a minute to kind of get into the flow. BYU's trailing. And then the last 11 minutes in overtime version of BYU. That was awesome. BYU made the plays they needed to make. They didn't have Jack Kelly. They still don't have Sione Moa. Bear Bachmeier threw a couple of picks. The one before half, not a big deal. Didn't turn into anything. But this was the first time where we looked at BYU and Bear Bachmeier and thought, oh, he's a freshman. He made some mistakes. It's fine. He made up for it, though, because that changed in the last 11 minutes. But Bear put the team on his back. He ran a lot. He ran 22 times in this game.
He caught one of his own passes.
Which was almost picked. I mean, if he doesn't, it maybe is picked. That's big time. In the last 2 drives of regulation, 26 plays, 116 yards, 10 points to tie. 14 of those 26 were runs. All LJ and Bear. All LJ and Bear. Bear ran it non-sack 21 times for 90 yards. I mean, he was big again. The 4th and 7 to Parker Kingston was huge. Obviously, his touchdowns, running, reaching, scrapping for every inch, huge.
Game winners on 3rd and 5, by the way.
Right.
3rd down conversion.
LJ Martin had the quietest 162-yard game in the history of BYU football. I mean, he was awesome, and we didn't even lead with him at all. 6.5 yards per carry, new career total. Parker Kingston goes B2B, 100-yard games. The 75-yard catch was awesome. His punt return with 3 minutes left set BYU up on that final drive.
Thought he might go on that play.
I know, right? Almost went. And then BYU put up 430 yards of total offense on a top 10 defense. They did a nice job. Underrated moments. You mentioned Bear catching his own pass. Kyle Safarchuk recovering the football where I thought that was a 50-50 ball. It wasn't clearly to Kyle. I think he had to win that. I think his work in the weight room came into play right there.
Literally saved the game.
Yes. And then Chase atoned for his drop later with some big catches, and then he draws multiple pass interference in the end zone to set BYU up. This was massive. BYU wins again. They figure it out. They're not blowing people out per se. They're winning in the way that BYU needs to win. This team figures it out. They're banged up. They are 6-0. Couldn't be happier.
I can't tell you how many times in my mind I thought, well, here's the game. Like 5 different times I had that thought in the last 10 minutes and overtime. Well, here's the game.
Yep.
Let's throw in Will Ferrell's critical 44-yard field goal in overtime. And he's been in a little bit of a tough mental space.
Yeah.
Because he had the 24 made in a row, missed a long one from 50-plus, and it was kind of like that. When you see one that finally misses, like, oh, man.
And he was 1 for 4 at one point.
He delivered. He's back. He's now made 2 in a row. A new streak has begun. But to knock that one through when things have not been going your way and you'd already missed one earlier, I know it was in the rain, but you'd missed one there, that was huge for Will Ferrell to get back on track.
BYU did him no favors. They lost 2 yards on that drive in overtime.
I know.
So
they
then
were kicking from the 27-yard
If you gain
line.
no yards, it's a 42-yarder. It was a 44-yarder.
They made it really hard, and he delivered. So just BYU's ability to find a way with so many different critical plays was really, really important. And they did, in a way at Colorado, deliver some of those critical plays. And Bear was so good late in that game as well, but it wasn't like this. And BYU did it without their full accoutrement of weapons.
Good use of accoutrement.
The roster was depleted. Raider DeMooney goes out early.
Yep.
Raider was slated to play a huge role in that game in containing Arizona's passing attack and making sure that he's spying out all the correct things, especially with Jack Kelly out.
And to me, Raiders very physical in the run game.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Falatel Satuala had to play well, and he did. The exception was the 4th and 1 where they run for a touchdown. The whole BYU defense missed tackles there.
Keanu Tanuvasa ejected in the first half.
Which, by the way, he missed the rest of the game, so he's good for the Utah game.
Yes, because it was in the first half. I know there
if
was
it
some
was second
confusion
half, he
because
would have missed the first half.
It was post-rain delay, but after the rain delay, it was still in the first half.
Keanu's good for the Utah game.
So you lose Keanu Tanuvasa, you don't have Jack Kelly, and you lose Raider DeMooney. And Isaiah Glasker's not playing at 100%. So many different guys had to make some plays.
Which they intercepted the end zone. They were going to get back anyway if he knocks it down.
We learned a lot about the depth of this team, but you wonder, like, how can they continue this? Are they deep enough to continue this for this critical stretch run in the Big 12? Because it took a lot.
Sustainable?
It took a lot, obviously, to find a way to win that game.
Yeah, and we'll get into it this week. The competition ramps up. Like, Utah's the best team that BYU will have played up to this point, and probably until Texas Tech, honestly, since Iowa State lost over the weekend. So, massive game for a million reasons. We'll get into that more. But
yeah, Bear's a gamer. No doubt about it. That dude is a gamer in the critical moments.
Yes, only Taysom Hill, by the way, and Riley Nelson would have more rush attempts as a BYU quarterback in program history. So it wasn't just as a freshman, as you look at the note at the very bottom there. He threw a couple of picks, and I think that Aaron Roderick said, hey, we need to reel in sort of what we're doing here and not just be as risky. Let's run the ball a little more. They had been successful. They kept doing that with LJ and Bear put the team on his back, and this O-line did a good job, and BYU won this through physicality in the run game.
Yeah, and I don't care about one of the interceptions as much as the other. The one was late in the first half, and you're trying to move the ball down the field, and you're
would have been nice to get a field goal.
Aggressive.
Yeah, sure, whatever, all good.
But the second one where the snap is over his head, and then it's like he's going into backyard football mode.
Luckily, he recovered it.
Yes, just throw the ball out of bounds and live to play another down.
Yeah, but I think if he plants and drives it, then he had someone on his heels.
Because Carson Ryan is open.
He didn't want to get hit, right? So, yeah, he's trying to protect himself, but it was just a little late. Arizona's got a good secondary, and BYU pulls out the win. Technically, with 4:10 left in the game, BYU was down by 10. They make the field goal at 4:08 or whatever.
Let's talk about that decision to kick that field goal, too.
Yeah.
Because Kalani said to me after the game, analytics all said, no, go for it.
But if you miss it.
But he said, I felt very strongly that was the right thing to do, to get some points just to get within a touchdown.
Yeah. And then the defense did a great job of getting stopped. You use your timeouts. You still have the 2-minute timeout. There was a lot of discussion, too, Spence, on Twitter especially, and on the air, about how deliberate and long BYU was taking in that penultimate drive to go down and the final drive. BYU has a 2-minute offense where they can hurry it up, but they were being completely deliberate to make sure that they were in the right mode, the right setup pre-snap. Can they go faster next time? Yes. Does Bear get 2 plays and then he can check into the other one? Yes. I do want them to go a little faster next time. But on that final drive, they did not want to give Arizona any time.
Yes.
I thought they played that well.
That's an important element to discuss within that.
Yes. It was the second to last drive where BYU took a while. But then you get in overtime. It's untimed downs. You still have a play clock. That was great. Chase Roberts does a great job of setting BYU up with some pass interference calls. He's tough to guard one-on-one, right? And then defensively, Maury Bamba and Evan Johnson both make great plays in the secondary. Shout out Gennaro Guilford and those guys. And Trey Alexander and the boys are pumped. So another win. We did not imagine that BYU, with a true freshman quarterback, would jump out to 5-1 and 6-0 in this manner.
They're ahead of schedule.
We thought they could.
They're a little ahead of schedule now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, 4-2 probably would have been decent too, given everything. But right now, BYU playing great, man. Like, they are doing what they need to do with this personnel to win the game. Are they blowing fools out and putting up massive numbers and with high tempo? No, that's not the model. That's not this the style that BYU is going to win with this year. They're going to win with ball control, explosive when it's there, play action passes, good defense, good special teams, and that's how BYU's 6-0. It's awesome.
It's taking, again, all 3 phases, just like it did last year. That model has remained. We showed you specifically the last defensive stop a moment ago on BYUtv, and I, again, talked with the head coach, Kalani Sitake, at length after the game, and had to ask him, naturally, about the Cougars' final defensive stand in that second overtime and what the approach was there.
We were playing some man defense and trying to get some pressure, and you know, I think Jay just knows what he wanted, and we challenged our guys that in this defense you're going to have to lock down some people, and I thought the corners did a great job.
Yeah, just please get a stop, please get a stop, please get a stop, because, I mean, we were like, just get a stop so we can go home. We've been here too long, and, I mean, it was awesome. They got a stop. I mean, they stopped him in the red zone, so we weren't worried.
Yeah, we knew they were going to take a shot, you know, at that point of the game. Again, I trust the guys around me, you know, and going to Evan Johnson was probably the biggest mistake they could have done.
Nice.
Jay Hill trusted in his corners to lock down guys individually so that they could put more pressure on Noah Fafita and make him, if even a little bit, rush a throw and be just a little bit off. And I felt like they had to make that adjustment to win this game.
There was a lot of drop 8, which make Noah find a window. He will occasionally, but it was hard.
Sure. And then it was, okay, let's put some pressure on him and just trust the DBs to go and do their thing, which is what happened in the second overtime.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. And they didn't blitz a ton. They were rushing 4 most of the time.